Oh my god. Oh my god. They're finally going to do it. They're finally going to show us how Dr. Loomis got the trench coat. That's not what this video is about.
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Cavern of Terror. And before you go searching the internet, crazy, like looking all over the place for a new Halloween series on Netflix, it's not happening. There's no plans, as I know of, right now for a Halloween series on Netflix with Loomis or Michael. It's not happening. But I'm going to tell you why the thumbnail was the way it was for this video. While driving to work today, I was thinking about Bates Motel, and the fact that I had never watched Bates Motel before, and the fact that I've heard that it's a really good show, and it's a prequel to the Psycho movie series, that it's about Norman Bates and his mother before the event of her death, and how Norman Bates becomes the Norman Bates from the Psycho movie. If I'm spoiling Psycho for you, guys, it came out a very long time ago. So you need to go watch Psycho. Then I thought, why not do the same thing with Halloween? Let's do a prequel to Halloween. I know what you're going to say. We've done that before. We did that in the Rob Zombie's Halloween with young Loomis and young Michael in Smith's Grove Sanitarium. It didn't really work out very well, but that's not what we're doing with this idea that I have. The idea that I have is a Netflix series for Dr. Loomis. Now keep in mind, this is all from my imagination. This isn't from anything that I've heard from anyone else. Like I said, this is not in development. This is just something that I want to talk about. And I think a Loomis prequel series would be really cool. So the first thing that I thought about was, what structure would this have? How many episodes would this be? How many seasons would it be? What platform would it be on? We'll talk about why I think Netflix is the perfect platform for this show here in a little bit, but I'm going to talk about the format right now. I think that 8 to 10 episodes over a 3-act structure would be perfect for a Loomis type show. The reason why I'm saying 8 to 10 episodes would be more ideal is the fact that there's no fluff. There's not going to be any filler episodes. It's going to be really tight, really compact, and just gets to the point of the season. There's no filler there. So I think 30 episodes would be a really, really smart decision. So what I was thinking would be the first season would be Loomis in grad school, where he's, at the end of his academic career. He's getting his doctorate. He's getting out into the field. He's learning more about criminal psychology. He's going out in the field working with the FBI, going after real serial killers. I think that would be really cool for this character. And then in the second season, I was thinking that maybe that life was a little bit too much for Loomis at that point. He's, in a relationship. Let's say that they mention his wife, that I believe is mentioned in Halloween 4. I might be wrong, but they can go through his actual relationships. But I was thinking that we could have him become a public therapist, that he's just seeing regular people. He thought that the criminal psychology was a little bit too much for him. So he starts seeing regular patients. Turns out he's actually seeing a serial killer. He ends up helping the cops take this person down. So at the end of the second season, he actually gets contacted by Smith's Grove. So boom, your third act is actually Loomis in Smith's Grove Sanitarium with young Michael. The people from Smith's Grove heard about what Loomis did in the second season of the show. They contacted him, they wanted him to come in, and this is when everything gets flipped on its head. He has to go back to his roots, to the criminal psychology that he did in season 1. He has to bring all that information that he's learned from season 2 with actually talking with this psychopath. Get it? Psycho? Sam Loomis? Anyway. Whew. I digress. He actually has to use the stuff that he learned in college, the stuff that he learned in a real-life situation, working with this little kid that might be pure evil, in Season 3. So Season 3 would be the most complex part of this show. It would be Loomis a little bit younger, but then we'll have a time jump. We'll have the 8 years that he worked with him trying to help him. We'll have the 7 years he tried to keep him locked away. And then, of course, we'll have another time jump in the end of the series, which is Michael escaping from Smith's Grove the night of the original escape in Halloween. It goes from Loomis in grad school to Loomis in the real world to Loomis in Smith's Grove to the very end, which leads into Halloween. So that is what I would do with a Loomis-centric show. I wouldn't bring in Laurie Strode. I wouldn't bring in any of the other characters from the original Halloween. Michael would definitely be in it, but he would only be in the last season. We really want to focus on Loomis's beginnings, Loomis's hardships, Loomis's relationships in the first 2 seasons, and then really focus on the Michael stuff in the last season. So you get your perfect beginning, middle, and end 3-act structure for a really concise, consistent, very tension-filled, no-filler show. So why would I pick Netflix to run this Halloween Loomis prequel? Well, it's actually pretty simple. I find it very hard to believe, no matter what they say, that Blumhouse is going to lose the rights to the Halloween IP. Halloween 2018, no matter what anyone will tell you, made a lot of money. It may not be the best movie, in your opinion. I really, really liked it. I think it's one of the best Halloween sequels. It made a ton of fucking cash. It made a lot of money for Universal and Blumhouse, and it's really opening up a lot of doors for them, and I think that it's going to stay with Blumhouse. But Blumhouse also has a relationship with Netflix. Some of their movies are being distributed by Netflix. Cam, for example, is a Blumhouse Studios film, Blumhouse Pictures film, and was released direct to Netflix. So I think the safest bet would be to have Blumhouse distribute the show through Netflix, and then a ton of people can watch it. I understand there's certain restrictions in other countries with Netflix properties, but I'm pretty sure that connection would be really cool. It'd make a lot of money for Netflix and would make a lot more money for Blumhouse. This could work for Shudder, this could work for Hulu, this could work for Amazon Prime, but I'm thinking that Netflix would be the best option for this show. You can do like one writer-director pair throughout the 3 seasons of this show. That's actually the way I would prefer it. It's way easier to keep things connected and keep things flowing if there's only one writer and one director the whole way through. I realize there'll be revisions and extra writers just to help tighten things up. You can do different things. You can bring in different directors for every episode as long as it stays in a certain flow. It stays a certain way throughout everything. Television is completely different than movies. Executive producers or showrunners decide the look and feel of the show the whole way through. I said this in my Swamp Thing video, if you want to go over there and check that out. So I think that if you bring in John Carpenter as an executive producer, which he will probably be if they decide to do this, because this character was created by him, so even if it is just his name, I think that going after a solid Carpenter vibe would be perfect for this. But you could also go in a different direction as well. You could bring in a certain Fincher vibe. You could, do Bates Motel meets Hannibal and combine that into something super dark, very Carpenter. As far as the overall feel of the show, I would go very Carpenter-ish. I want to keep it in line with the original Halloween. But as the series progresses, it can get eventually darker. I would go more of a Seven route, more of a Zodiac. So essentially, David Fincher. It would get darker as the series goes because essentially it would. And I think that would be really cool, a contrast from the original Halloween story. So it's still Halloween, but it's a little different. It's more updated. It's more realistic. And I think that's what you want with a Loomis show. So that's the way I would go with the feel. I would start out Carpenter-ish and then get more David Fincher as the show goes. As far as the casting goes, I completely agree with what Dave McRae says. If If you haven't seen Dave's videos, they're awesome. When it comes to a character that is this well known, that has so much to, fill, so many shoes, big shoes to fill. You know what I mean? When you have such an iconic character, always go unknown. Never put a recognizable face with such a big character. Donald Pleasance has left such a big footprint on the Halloween series that it's hard to do that character again. Malcolm McDowell, as much as I love him in the Halloween remake and Halloween 2, I actually kind of like Halloween 2 a lot. He's not Donald Pleasance. It's not the same character. So you need someone that can bring that flavor, like Dave McCrae says, to bring the essence of the character to the screen to make you believe that is Dr. Loomis. But you want another actor, younger, to make you feel like that is a younger Loomis. This is the character that is going to be in the original Halloween. Because essentially, that's what this all leads up to. This is a little different, though, because not only do you have to do it once, you have to do it twice. Because this story takes place a little over 25 years. So, give or take a few years. So you have a younger actor play Loomis, and then you have an older actor that plays Loomis. So you have two different characters, or two different actors that are playing the same characters. So these two guys have to make you believe that they will become Loomis at the end of this. Okay, guys, so that is what I would essentially do with a Halloween prequel about Loomis. I'm really interested in the Dr. Loomis character. I always want to know what that guy did before Halloween every time I watch the series. He's one of the most well fleshed out characters in the entire series. He's really interesting, and that has a lot to do with Donald Pleasance as the character. He's just a fantastic actor, and that's what I would want to see. I would want to see a prequel series on one of the most interesting characters. There's no Michael until last season, which I would keep him very similar to the way he is in the original Halloween. There's no Strodes. There's none of that other shit. We have one character that we're focused on pretty much the entire series until we get to the third season. Loomis. I think it would be really cool. I think you could call it Halloween Chronicles Loomis or something like that. It's like 30 episodes, really concise, 3-act structure. Starts Carpenter-ish, ends really dark. So guys, what do you think about a Loomis prequel? Would you want to see that? Let me know down in the comments down below. And if you do want to see it, how would you do it? Let me know that as well. If you guys want a more fleshed out version of what I would do, like certain episodes, let me know that in the comments down below as well. And check it out. I moved the camera so you can't see the pillows anymore, so it kind of looks like there's a couch back there. Plus you can just see my badass TV. Alright guys, stay tuned to my Nightmare on Elm Street video coming very soon. I have the whole weekend off so I can do that video. And if you haven't checked me out on social media, you can find those in the comments down below, or the description box down below. And since I name dropped him like 3 or 4 times in this video, I put Dave McCrae's link in the description box down below as well. He's a really knowledgeable guy, works in the film industry, really cool, very opinionated guy, and has really cool videos that I assure you he would love you checking out. So his link's down there as well. But most importantly, guys, my name's Zach. This has been the Cavern of Terror, and I shot him 6 times! Stay metal, my friends.